Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So I saw this headline and I initially thought, oh wow, this is great. And then I realized, wait, maybe they're just going to swap out the terms and it's still going to mean the same thing and they're still going to operate under the same methods, but they're going to lose the DEI moniker and switch it out. Let's read this article here from the Daily Mail and find out what they're actually getting into. Employers are binning DEI and swapping it for well-being and inclusion as college anti-Semitism debacle turns terms toxic. Okay, so let's check it out. We know what happened over there at Harvard. American companies are distancing themselves from the controversial diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the wake of the college anti-Semitism row, business consultants claim. The spate of anti-Semitism at some of the country's most elite college campuses have reportedly dragged the DEI term further into a toxic political debate that businesses now wish to distance themselves from. The term or the practice, because if they're trying to distance themselves from the practice, that's great for America. That's great for, promotion out of merit, hiring out of merit, rather than looking at a person's skin color or sexuality to get a person's job. We have all these Boeing airlines going. We had the door fly off of that Boeing airline the other day coming from Alaska. Then we had reports of loose bolts and stuff like that on the other ones, or on some of the other ones. And there's speculation out there that this is possibly because of DEI hires. You're not hiring the most qualified individuals to perform these tasks in an attempt to look good for your diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right? But let's read more from the article. Anything that smacks of a quota is out. Anything that smacks of a quota is out, Diana Scott from the conference board told Axios. The focus is moving away from those three words towards efforts around well-being and inclusion, Scott explained. So we're going to probably start hearing well-being and inclusion a lot more than DEI. DEI has already attracted some high-profile critics from the business world, including Elon Musk and billionaire Bill Ackman. Recently, we've actually seen Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, going back and forth with Elon Musk over some of this DEI stuff. And I thought it was really funny when Elon owned him and asked when Mark Cuban was going to hire an Asian woman to play basketball on the team. But the policy often leading to the select hiring of minorities or specific demographics in order to increase diversity was strongly pushed by Harvard's first black female president, Claudine Gay. This DEI stuff began way earlier than her taking the presidential position there at Harvard, and probably is the reason why she actually got that job. The presidents of UPenn and MIT were called before a congressional hearing in December to account for the rise on their college campuses. During the hearing, Gay refused to categorize calls for Jewish genocide as harassment or concede that Jewish students had a right to feel safe at Ivy League schools. Gay resigned as president of Harvard on Tuesday, but failed to apologize for the testimony. And she's just moving over to a faculty position, and I believe she's still getting like a $900,000 a year salary. So she's just out as the face and the president, and still there. So don't get it confused. She was also busted plagiarizing a bunch of papers that she wrote, and the board at Harvard was standing by her even through the plagiarism accusation. But finally, she went ahead and resigned. But like I said, she's still on there getting paid, just like Heiner Schneid is from Bud Light. She's on paid leave as far as I'm concerned. I haven't heard that she's actually been fired. That's what they do. They don't actually fire these DEI hires because now they're afraid they'll probably get sued, because now we're going to sue you because you're firing us because of, you hired us because of this, we're still this, and you're firing us because of that. The academic had actively pushed a DEI agenda at the college and had herself been criticized as underqualified for the role. Republican president candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, a Harvard graduate, denounced Gay's appointment as a thinly veiled exercise in race and gender. DEI has also been criticized by businessman and Harvard donor Bill Ackman, who argued it has been the root cause of Harvard. Ackman publicly pursued the removal of Gay following her disastrous congressional testimony. Tech titan Elon Musk threw his support behind Ackman, writing, "DEI is just another word for racism. Shame on anyone who uses it," in response to a 4,000-word essay by Ackman on the subject. DEI, because it discriminates on the basis of race, gender, and many other factors, is not merely immoral, it is also illegal. DEI has been panned by conservative critics as pushing a left-wing ideology in educational institutions and businesses exploded across the corporate sphere following the race marches of 2020. They say it's pushed by conservative critics, but there ain't no conservatives out there hiring on DEI based on these discriminatory factors. So yeah, it's a left-wing ideology for sure. Who supports it and who's against it? I mean, simple. But the last year's Supreme Court ruling overturning the use of affirmative action in universities has drawn attention to corporate diversity efforts. Laws limiting the use of DEI policies in public schools have been introduced in Florida by Governor Ron DeSantis and in the universities of Texas by Governor Greg Abbott. DEI is better viewed as standing for discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination, DeSantis said while signing his bill into law last May. I like that. Adding, that has no place in our public institutions. Businesses are now trying to avoid any hiring programs that could draw legal scrutiny. Firms are finding new ways to create diversity within their teams, such as BlackRock, who are focusing on hiring for socioeconomic diversity, according to Fortune. Companies are really starting to look at other ways to do the work without saying that they're doing the work, said Cinnamon and Clark, co-founder of Good Work Sustainability. So what was it called again? You got to remember this term. Well-being and inclusion. So they're moving over to well-being and inclusion. Clark predicts businesses will be talking more about employee experience or wellness rather than focusing purely on diversity in 2024. What is wellness? I don't get it. How does the wellness part factor into that? If anybody knows, can explain that to me, please do in the comments, because I'm curious what they would even mean by wellness. Yes, of course, employee experience, qualifications for the job and stuff like that. But what does the wellness have to do with anything? I don't know. Maybe it's just a way to try to cover something. But anyways, Kevin Delaney, co-founder of Charter, a research firm focusing on the future of work, believes the increasing intensity of national policies will also put the brakes on DEI for business. It's hard to imagine with the amped up rhetoric of an election year that people really want to stick out their neck more, he said. DEI has become a key battleground in ongoing Republican nomination race and is likely to become a future in the primaries. Ramaswamy has made repeated overtures about the policy, and fellow Republican presidential candidates, DeSantis has declared Florida the state where woke goes to die. And I love that. As a Floridian who's voted for DeSantis twice for governor, I appreciate all the good things that he's doing here as the governor. Now, I don't think he should be running against Trump for president. I think he should be focused on Florida right now, but nevertheless, he's supposedly going to drop out after the Iowa caucus when he loses and back Trump, but we'll just have to see, right? Anyways, I'm going to go and wrap it up there. DEI looks like it's dying, but I don't think the practice is actually dying. It's just going to be replaced with the term well-being and inclusion, which is the next phrase that we're going to have to remember. Maybe we'll start calling it W&I or something like that and move forward from there. But if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.